What do you think if we went 4 days 9 hours? What do you think if we could go from 5-day work week to a 4-day work week but we work 9 hours instead of 8? 36 hours a week being the new norm. It seems like that would be so much better for productivity, health and work-life balance. The same amount of work would get done, since a lot of hours are wasted doing nothing. It's crazy to me how it's been like 100 years and we haven't tried changing anything. In the US, I'd wager a lot of salaried people already work 9-hour days. I and most of the people I work with do. I'd love to work the same Monday through Thursday and get Fridays off. Hell, I'd love a 980 schedule where I got every other Friday off. If US mandates 4-day week, they'll change the federally recognized standards to 32 hours. At the same salary as a 40 hours week. Frankly, average human maximum productivity is 5-6 hours day. Any more is an antiquated standard. Honestly, we should just push for the 4-day work week. 32 hours a week. No cut in pay. We are so productive as a nation, we need an extra day a week to deal with burnout. And employers already have to deal with so much time waste anyways. Hardly any of us are doing a full 40-hour week of work in exactly 40 hours. Ask anyone in an office and then tell you that stretching out your tasks is a skill everyone who doesn't want to be punished has to learn. Fuck that. We need a full-time week to be at maximum hours. 4 days. It should be 24 with productivity. But the shockwave of conservative pearl clutching would destroy the planet. We don't need to increase the hours. Just decrease the days. We've already shown our labor has led to increased capability and profits that we never see. We don't need to work this much. Not all of our working time is productive anyhow. Study after study shows this. Give us our lives back. Reduce the work requirement. Take the increased capability we have and let us rest. Not better. We don't get paid for lunch anymore, so hours are already long and pointless. Studies show fewer hours makes us more productive because humans aren't built for doing some few tasks focused entirely on that for a whole day. If we don't fight hard for a large change, there is no room for negotiation and pushback. People worked their ass off and died fighting for 40 hours, and it turned into this hellscape of labor violations and unpaid hours. Shoot for 30. Same pay as before. We shouldn't be talking ourselves down like this. Lol, no. 8 hours in a day is already exhausting enough as it is. And 32 hours is more than enough. Regardless, never start a negotiating position with such a small ask. Be audacious. 20 hours 4 days a week. 4 hours per day is the opener. Remember, people once thought we'd be spending most of our time on leisurely pursuits by now. We have been producing record amounts. Destroying our bodies, minds, families, and environments because capitalists have convinced us this is what we need to do to survive. It's all a lie. Profits and cost of living have ballooned, but wages have been stagnant. Average salary in London will barely cover rent and living costs for a 1-bedroom flat. The median salary, hall living alone, is a luxury nowadays. Grovel no more, I say. It should be 4 8-hour shifts with OT starting at 35 hours. The first workweek law in 1938 was 44 hours, and then 2 years later it was changed to 40 hours. People joke that by 1960 it will be 20 hours. This was also the joke in Jetsons cartoon. The workweek was an hour a day. 2 days a week in the show since they were in the future. Back to my point, screw the man with their slave wage eating what little time we have on this planet. They'll find a reason to either cut our pay or give us fewer benefits. Whether it's 5 8s, 4 9s, 3 16s, 2 4s, 1 23, There is an issue that will remain. Corporates greedy ass. They will just demand 40 hours worth of work from that new 36. They will fight tooth and nail to ensure you don't get paid 40 hours in the new 36. If you do, they will find a way keep labor cost low. Additional changes will need to be made to ensure the full positive benefits of work 4 days. 3 days. 2 days. I work 4 tens. I love it. My current employer isn't a fucking greedy corporate suit. Nah. I'm down to try 5 6-hour days. I am dead ass tired of trying to shove a whole lifetime into the hour between work and bed. How about instead of a norm for hours worked, we instead get paid for the job done? It's not enough suffering. They wouldn't care if we could work 3 days a week, 8 hours a day, and be 20,000 productive. It's not enough suffering and control for them. So they would be against it. We must be tired, mentally drained, stressed, and devoid of free time. 4 days, 7 hours, thank you very much. No, have to aim for 32, because if a change does occur, there won't be another for a very long time. Fuck you. 4 days. 6-hour days. Honestly, these discussions miss a crucial point. They don't want you working a 4-day week as. That's 1 day you have free where you could be looking around for better work. They keep this from you to keep you demotivated from even trying. I once took a job for 12 hours a week on the strict instructions that I would not work extra hours. They scheduled me at the across-town office for 6 days a week. 2-hour shifts. Plus all meetings and team building 2-3 hours a week. Obligatory. Needless to say, I quit. But the message was clear. They monopolize your time on purpose. 4 days 6 hours. We already do something like that with a 1-2 day on Friday. It does help a lot because I can schedule doctor's appointments and other thingy for Friday afternoons. Yeah, maybe if I wasn't basically beholden to the hours childcare is available. We didn't used to have 2 parents working. It should be at most 25 hours. It should be 4 by 8 or 32. We need to start by bargaining for 3 by 8 or 24 and let them talk us into 4 by 8. And we need unions for everyone and solidarity to get it. People have tried to change things in the last 100 years. The one have been adapting to our tactics and beating us. No, I want 4-day 8 hours with time and a half over 32 hours and double time for anything over 42 hours a week. Also time and a half for time over 8 hours on any day irregardless of total time. I did it years ago when my employer was struggling with a downturn. They cut us to 4 9s and cut out pay 10. Honestly, I loved it. Friday was my get laundry done, groceries, etc. I literally had Saturday and Sunday to do whatever I wanted. Monday I was so refreshed that we were just as productive as when we were doing 5/8, which real was more like 5 9s being salary. I mean, it would probably do a lot of good. But the biggest issue I could see would be companies would try to argue that they need to pay less in wages due to the less amount of time being worked, along with believing that the dated paradigm we have currently is the end-all be-all. When working for like 2-3 days, taking a day break between, and the working 1-2 more days before having a 2-day break is far better and leads to higher productivity. A lot simply needs to change with the US labor system. But never will, because it benefits companies far more to keep things the way they are over changing things to benefit people more. You're being way too generous to the capitalists. It should be 3 days and maybe 24 hours per week. We could easily take care of everyone's needs with that if we didn't have capitalist parasites sucking up all our resources. 4 9-hour days is way less than we deserve given the gains in productivity.